Hello and welcome everyone. We are live. I am Tech Chariot and I am pleased to bring you another set from the King of Ireland tournament. Got a little bit of catch-up work to do today. I recently changed phones and I was waiting on a phone call from my old phone provider, the service provider, to let me know my porting PIN number so that I could port my new number over to my new phone, and they said they'd call me back in 15 minutes at around 10 o'clock in the morning, and I waited all day, and they still didn't get back to me. So I did not want to go live because I didn't want to have to tell all of you that I was going to have to take a phone call. But here I am now. I've given up on that, and we will try again with that later. In the meantime, let's make sure that we get some solid casting in. We've got a lot of sets to do today, and I'm pleased to bring you the first. In the silver division, second round, we have Birelis versus Canny. Let's take a look at their seeding. I don't know much about these players. Barelas is coming in calculated tournament ELO a little over 1,300, and the world is mine, aka Canny, coming in a little over 1,360. So about 50 ELO difference between these two, with an advantage toward Canny. But we'll see what the players make of it. In terms of Civ Draft, we have Canny selecting the Franks, the Sicilians, the Spanish, the Lithuanians, the Huns, the Malians, the Incas, and the Poles, and Barelas picking the Persians, Berbers, Italians, Indians, Mongols, Byzantines, Mayans, and Britons. Barelas sniping the Franks from Canny, and Canny feeling so confident that randomly snipes the Indians. Remember that these players will go up against the winner of the Otter 1 and Yip Yip. Whoever wins here will go into the quarterfinals against the Otter 1 versus the Yip Yip. So Canny is the 5th seed and Birelis the 12th. So let's get into it. The first game of every set is Irish Arabia. In the blue, in the left-hand corner of the map, we have Birelis playing as the Berbers. And in the right corner of the map, we have Canny playing as the purple Sicilians. In terms of maps, once again, we see that the Sicilians' stone is forward. In a previous game, we saw Black Baby against Zark, I believe it was. And Zark actually denied that stone early and prevented Black Baby from switching into the Surgeons that would have countered his Eagle Warriors. So perhaps we'll see some early aggression from Birelis to take Canny away from this stone, and of course Canny's other stone is out here. Canny's got a really good gold otherwise though, so if Canny is not planning on doing anything that requires stone, he'll probably be fine, but it's just sort of very unfortunate that this stone is forward for him, especially since he is Sicilian and he needs his stone. So Barelas' map is decidedly inferior to Canny's. Barelas has forward gold, forward stone, just like Canny does, even forward deer, although these can be pushed in. Another stone outside, but most importantly, Barelas does not have a wood line in the back the way that Canny does. Canny could wall to the edge of the map here, and wall to the edge of the map here or here, depending on whether or not he wants to include this gold, and then enjoy a wood line free from harassment. That is not true of Barelas. So Barelas is going to have to play this very aggressively to keep Canny from exploiting the discrepancy in map qualities. So we see a third going on to wood from Canny. Whether or not we see a fourth on wood will tell us if there are scouts in the cards, and it looks like Canny is sending a fourth to wood now, so this is telling me that Sicilians are not going to go scouts. You can open scouts on Irish Arabia, but it is different from traditional Arabia in that the wood lines are a little bit probably further away from the town center, and there tend to be more of them, and they're quite thin. So this makes archers more powerful. We've seen in some sets where players will pick a hyper-archer civilization like Ethiopians, and other players will pick a hyper-scout civilization like Huns. And it's interesting to see the clash of styles. The archer player definitely has an initial advantage, being able to range every single lumberjack pretty much on the wood line, except in situations like these where you can wall to the edge of the map. We've seen them win that way, but we've also seen scouts, civilizations, ghost scouts not get in and be able to do damage, still enjoy the scouts' eco, and then raid the crap out of their opponent after the initial wood has been used up and their opponent starts to expand across this extremely open map. So let's take a look at the number on wood here for Birelis. Birelis has 4 on wood as well. So this is telling me that neither player is planning on going scouts. Barelas with a perfect town center. Oh, just as I say that, they get a second of idle time. Only 1 second of town center idle time for Barelas. Barelas doing an excellent job keeping this TC working. And we'll see if there are any... Oh shoot, my headphones are unplugged. Sorry if you guys have been hearing double. There we go, that's much better. Hopefully that improves the sound quality. So we have a barracks coming down for Birelis, and Birelis is starting to go out to gold. So this is looking a lot like a man-at-arms build for now, but we will see. It could also be a post-militia drush. It depends on if Birelis decides to build a mining camp here. Birelis hurrying down a house and forced to get loom early because Birelis is housed. That is unfortunate. So Birelis will have 5 seconds of town center idle time. Still less than Canny. What's going on with Canny? Canny is getting loom. Has a barracks down as well. And do we have... We have 2 militia coming across the map for Canny. How did I miss this, pleb caster? And we have a militia for Barelas too, so it looks like both players are planning on drushing each other. Yeah, Barelas just took this gold and then went back to the town center. Needs to get these shepherds working. They're just standing there carrying their beefsteaks. Okay, and we have Canny in on Barelas as another militia comes out for Barelas. Barelas has a disadvantage in health with the scout. I'm not sure what happened there. Could have been some town center mishap. And Barelas' scout goes down, so it's Barelas' 3 militia against Canny's 2. And now we have a big militia fight here. Barelas attempting to lead Canny into the town center arrow fire. It works. And the scout is pretty injured, but Barelas has probably the disadvantage for militia health, I would say. Needs to delete this house so as to not lose the wood. That militia goes down. And Barelas should just send villagers to fight this, and yep, he does. But that was pretty disruptive, I would say. Birelis, though, was still less than a villager's worth of town center idle time, and is now going feudal age. Canny is going feudal age as well, will not be far behind. And this low HP scout managing to pick off that militia, that's a big deal. This is going to tell Canny what Birelis is up to. And Birelis says no more. Let's make sure we get these walls up. So Canny is not looking well positioned to do fast castle. Needs to take his deer. He did not push his deer in because he was using his scout to help out his drush. And he's going to need to throw down some farms to make sure that he has the food. Both of these players are around my skill level, maybe a little bit better, probably, honestly, on an open map like this. Canny just finding his extra sheep now. And it looks like Birelis is going to be fully walled, as Birelis is putting down an archery range. Interesting. We don't normally see the Berbers go for ranged units, but it could make sense on this map, given how thin the wood lines are, to go archers initially and transition into scouts later, as both players are speaking in some foreign language I don't understand. Oh, wait a second, this is probably just the advancement to the next stage. So stable coming up for Canny. This makes sense. Scouts will be quite powerful. Scouts, of course, for Sicilians, take half the normal bonus damage from spearmen. And we have a spearman coming forward for Canny. Canny is expecting scouts. It's not going to be scouts, though. It's going to be archers. From Barelas. So, Canny just barely going to miss this archer, maybe? Nope. Okay, he's going to see it. Or at least he had the opportunity to see it. Some patrol that is. Okay, so Canny knows that it's archers now. So that spearman is no good, and Canny is open. So these archers could do a lot of damage. This archer should lame the deer here. Come on, lame the deer. Shoot the deer. Well, he's probably not much of a deer hunter. Okay, so does Birelis not know? Okay, Birelis is just kind of scouting his opponent now. I'm not sure this archer is worth microing at this point, especially since it doesn't have fletching. So what Barelas needs to do is Barelas needs to camp this stone, and he'll prevent Canny from building defensive towers. Maybe Canny can make a single donjon, but he'll also keep this open. Build a good mass, and then push in. Canny is attempting to wall behind. So what is Canny's knowledge of the world? Not much either. So Barelas actually has a lot more damaging information on Canny. So Barelas playing this kind of aggressively, the way that we expected, going Berber archers. Has a scout forward to keep these spearmen away. Scouts are going to... Or has a spearman forward to keep the scouts away, I should say. These scouts want the archers, though. Canny really wants to finish these buildings. And he... Oh, man, this is a pretty tight battle here. I think he is going to clean this up. Yeah, he's got the scouts to clean that up. So, that's interesting. Both players rushing into either scouts or into archers. Barelas should stop feeding archers piecemeal to Canny at this point. Should just accept that the forward pressure didn't work as intended. These archers even have fletching. Yes, they do. And we got to be very careful of an overchop. It's quite easy to overchop on Irish Arabia. And that's what we have here. So scouts could get in. Canny has 4 scouts now. Could consider even pushing this deer in. But he's sort of sticking back at home. Cautious to push out. Okay, Barelas going to abandon this wood line. Having overchopped there, and it's going to wall it up. Archer waiting here. I think this is open. Maybe not. Oh no, I think that's a bush there. Alright, never mind. It was a bush, it wasn't part of the tree. And Birelis clicking up to the castle age now. Has not made any more archers. And Canny is at 4 scouts, is going to clean up this final archer. I think Canny expecting more commitment to the archers. Birelis did get fletching, but he never really made more than like 7 or 8 archers. Never killed any villagers either. Neither player has done damage to the other, although they've both aggressed. So what's it going to be now from Birelis? Birelis' wood options are pretty bad. He's got one very small wood line back here, and he's finishing up his last other wood line here. And then he's going to have to start chopping to the outside, which is not going to be fun. Okay, so as expected, we have a stable coming down from Barelas, and Barelas investing in the armor. Canny is on his way to the castle age now. So what is Canny going to do in castle age? He's got a lot on gold, so this is telling me probably knights. We see the foundation for another stable being placed for Canny as well. So it's going to be a big knight war. Oh, Barelas needs to pay attention, otherwise these scouts could get in. Barelas, earth to Barelas, repair. Sends 2 villagers now, having seen it. And that is the right call. This house will stay up. But Canny almost got in there. That could have been really bad. Barelas did not have any spearmen prepared. Okay, these lumberjacks were working on this wood line, and he's going to build a town center here. I like this town center. It's close to the stone. It's close to this other wood line here. And look at that, Birelis reading Canny's mind, putting a house down here so that Canny can't get in. And we've got double stable knights. So 2 stable knights, 2 town center boom from Barelas. Should try to keep Canny off of stone. He really has an opportunity to prevent Canny from building any castles. Castles, donjons, they all build sergeants. And sergeants are super powerful, especially in late game. Okay, so Canny is Castle Age. If I'm Canny, I build a town center right here on the stone. But it doesn't look like Canny is going to do that. Canny has 1 stable down, so overall Canny has not really set up what he's going to do. He's got 2 stables and 1 town center actually. He's just made a knight. Barelas is getting wheelbarrow. Canny is doing the same, and Canny getting +2. So Barelas is here with a knight looking for some damage. Only has +1. So Barelas is going to need to catch up to Canny in terms of armor if he wants to take a fight. We've got 3 knights here versus 3 knights, so Barelas does not want to fight this without the armor. And Canny starting to push out across the map. Oh, nope, going to come hunt down Barelas. Does not want those knights causing trouble. Alright, here we go. So, here comes Canny. So hopefully Birelis gets that +2. Canny got it immediately, expecting to do a lot of knight pressure. If Birelis isn't careful, this house could go down. He sees it coming because of the cavalry battle here. The knight's tanky enough, has enough vision, and he's going to repair this house. But honestly, the weak point is right here, this gate. It's one of those invisible things, you know, you don't see the armor, but it can have a dramatic impact on the outcome of the game. Birelis bringing his knights back. And he does maybe have numbers in some places. He certainly has the reinforcement advantage. But he needs to get that armor. Otherwise he's going to look like he's in a lead and then take a bad fight. Camel coming out for Birelis. I like the addition of some camels. Camels, of course, deal bonus damage to knights. And Barelas says, hey, come back, buddy. Where are you going? We have some unfinished business. So Canny has added 2 more town centers. 1 is up already, and the other is coming down now. Still nothing on stone, although he has 100 more stone. He could build something out here. And Canny has produced pikemen. How did we miss that? And so now Barelas has to flee. Cannot fight the pikemen. And Canny is going to come and batter this house again. Seems to be like a... oh, nope. A pressure point. And Barelas is not paying attention. Canny is going to take a good fight here. Barelas is paying attention, but not as much attention as he would have liked, probably. And this house is... probably got some very, very low real estate values. It keeps on getting attacked. It's been spent half of its life burning or crumbling. And Birelis needs to do something about these pikemen. Can't just make enough knights. Pikemen will wreck. These knights are going to take half the normal bonus damage from camels, so camels are just not a great option. I think Birelis needs a monastery. Very close to overchopping over here. Birelis has not started on stone yet. In terms of villagers, though, Birelis has the lead. Birelis doing a better job keeping his 2 town centers working than Canny is doing keeping his 3 town centers working, soon to be 4. Monastery coming up for Canny as well. But we can see that the idle time for Birelis is much lower than that of Canny's. Canny getting squires to help the pikemen keep up with the knights. He definitely wants to continue to mix pikemen into his army composition to deal with Birelis' camels. Birelis has, finally built a monastery, made a monk to heal up his units and get occasional odd conversions. I think monks are probably, honestly, the best counter to Sicilian knights in Castle Age, before that stupid First Crusade tech is researched. And then monks are useless. Sicilians are just a very lazily designed civ, in my opinion. They just said, well, we don't really know what to do, so we're just going to make them a little bit better at everything. We're going to make all their units take half the normal amount of bonus damage, and we're going to give this overpowered tech to their cavaliers and knights called Hoberk that gives them additional armor and essentially makes them like paladins, but without having to pay for the super expensive upgrade. So it's kind of dumb, but Sicilians are not regarded as overpowered because people haven't figured out how to play them yet. But the time will come. These bonuses will not last. It's crazy to think how long Age of Empires has been around and how they're still making balance changes. So Barelas has added another town center here to the gold, starting to recover relics. And where is Birelis' army? So Barelas goes in for an attack on Canny and decides this is not a good idea. There's too many monks, there's too many pikemen. Barelas, you need an answer to the pikemen. You have to take the pikemen seriously. Barelas finally getting +2. Don't take this fight before +2. Yeah. So Barelas is running away before +2 comes in. Is this monk going to get the knight? It does. That knight should get out of there. It does. So that monk still paid for itself. But Barelas needs an answer to these pikemen. Start teching into skirms. The answer is not more knights. Your opponent can make pikemen much faster than you can make knights. But neither player really committing to like forward siege workshop or anything like that. Both of these players just want to boom, and they want to build up their knight mass and massive cavalry. So Barelas at 86 pop, or 86 villagers, I should say, and Canny at 71. So Barelas still has a comfortable villager lead. Canny still hasn't gotten through. This house is still standing. We've got some monks fighting it out, and we've got a big old cavalry battle here, where Canny has knights and pikemen versus camels and knights. And Barelas does outnumber him, so probably could clean this up, but probably at great cost. Military count is looking about even as Canny decides to bail. Knights going down for sure on both sides. Camels going down for sure. Barelas has the resources to click up. Looks like he's looking for that. We got a university, so does he simply not have the buildings? Yeah, he doesn't have the buildings. So he's rushing down this university with 7 villagers. And then he'll click up. Got another town center from Barelas. Wants to secure this area and an outpost. See when enemies are coming and not get raided. This is not going to be a good fight for Barelas, though. There's too many pikemen here. Canny's a little tunnel visioned in this area. If he knew that this was open, he'd run right in. It'd be a real heartache for Barelas to deal with all that. Okay, so Barelas got this university up and is on his way to Imp with 98 villagers. So Canny coming forward with a castle, and this is kind of funny actually. Canny doesn't know that this town center is here, but is dropping a castle on it anyway. So Canny is not going to be Imp anytime soon, not unless he buys Imp, which he might do that after he sees Barelas get Imp. Okay, so Barelas has discovered this castle, but Canny can still get it up. It is a Sicilian castle, and he's got enough pikemen present to get that up. But Barelas really needs to do something about the pikemen. Cannot just stand knights. I'd like to see some more ranges come down maybe for Barelas, and Barelas could get chemistry, and pikemen could be a good answer, or Barelas could go genitors. That could be a lot of fun. This map could actually be a big buff. Barelas actually denies it. I can't believe it. So Canny is on his way to Imperial Age as well. I'd like to see Barelas go Janitors, actually. This could be the perfect application for them. They kind of suck as a unit. They're not very good, but they are much more mobile than Skirmishers, so that mobility could be important. This castle will probably go up. It's being built by a lot of villagers. Barelas on a counterattack with mostly camels. And Barelas reaching the Imperial Age now. Cavalier will certainly be researched immediately. And decides to bail on this as the Sicilian castle goes up. So Birelis is going to castle this hill instead. And yep, armor and Cavalier coming in. Birelis kind of playing like the Sicilian player though, and just not caring that these pikemen are here. That his opponent has a counter unit. Says, I'll be fine, I'll power through it. And what do we got? More barracks coming up. So Canny is going to read the writing on the wall here and say my opponent is imp. That means Berber Cavalier everywhere, and I need pikemen. I need lots of them. In terms of openness, Barelas is still okay. He's got this back wood here, and he still has closed off much of the map, so his economy is not too vulnerable to raiding. Armor coming in for Barelas, and Cavalier will be here shortly. Does Barelas have any of the gold mining upgrades? Well, I can't tell because Capture Age isn't telling me. But he's got 25 on gold, and he's got 6 Cavaliers in queue. So he is definitely turning on production. And are we going to see Camel Archers? No, we're going to see Trebuchets. So Barelas wants to make Trebuchets and treb this castle, and power through this castle and these defenses, and his opponent's military with Cavaliers and Camels. But I really do think it's a bad idea. So Canny has not really been making any pikemen, though. I think this is a mistake. Canny needs to realize that Barelas is going to have a massive military. Canny, of course, is imp as well. Could be getting the Halberdier upgrade, but I don't see it yet. And if I'm Canny, you need to stall for time, man. Do not get Cavalier. It's not worth it. There's too many camels on the field. It's going to make another castle back here. Get halbs and close the map and push across. But what do I know? So we got a trebuchet coming up for Canny, or being built for Canny rather. It's not coming up, it's being built. This castle back here isn't going to be on the hill, but at least it's a castle. And we've got Canny here diving, taking a fight. He's got 15, 14 pikemen. I don't know that it's enough. Pikemen are dropping like flies. He really needs halbs. Okay, he just got halb. Halb is in for Canny. And these halbs are going to be much more effective, and it's actually going to clean up Barelas' attack force because of that halb upgrade. For sure. So Barelas needs to take these halbs seriously. Is getting Blast Furnace now. What about range upgrades? What about Camel Archers? Okay, starting to make them now. But he should have been making Camel Archers 5 minutes ago. But he seems to really be struggling on gold, despite having 36. Did he not get his gold mining upgrades? I don't know. Okay, so now Barelas is under siege. Let's have some camels here, but honestly, camels are so freaking useless against Sicilians. They do half the bonus damage. I like this, though. I like the fact that Barelas is stonewalling this off, securing more wood, recognizing how open the map is. And we've got Camel Archers here helping out against the halbs. I don't think it's going to be enough. All this bonus damage from the camels, not all of it, but half of it, is negated. Canny demonstrating the power of Sicilians. Dropping a castle on Barelas' town center. So Barelas is in trouble. Barelas has 3 military to Canny's 27, and has to withdraw from this gold. Some villagers are going down for Barelas. So Barelas is building more stables. There's nothing you can make from the stable to deal with this. But unfortunately, Barelas' pikemen aren't going to be doing very much against this either. So, I don't know, maybe he's planning on raiding, making lots of hussar and forcing raids, but Sicilians are scary. They're broken. These Cavalier will be taking half the normal amount of damage from Barelas' pikemen. So Barelas can make pikemen. They'll do 22 bonus damage normally. So that is plus 11 bonus damage, which sounds like a lot, but against a unit with 140 health is really not very much. So it is a Treb war. Both players trying to keep their castles alive. Birelis dives the Trebs over here. Both players diving each other's Trebs. Okay. Barelas trying to repair this trebuchet, but was unsuccessful. That is the saving grace of the Berbers, is their cheap Cavalier. I guess maybe Barelas could go champion. I think Berbers get fully upgradable champion. And that could be really effective against the Halves. Barelas will surely dive this trebuchet if he sees it. Canny with a commanding lead so far. Barelas does have a villager advantage though. Getting gold shaft mining now and light cav. So Barelas is definitely thinking about raids. Just needs to keep this alive. And Canny is going to come on a raid here. Barelas could be in trouble. Barelas has to go chase it down. Gets a conversion on this Cavalier. Barelas has all of the armor on his cavalry. It looks like Canny is still missing the final armor on his Cavalier, which is why they're vulnerable to these arrows. So Hussar coming in for Barelas. If Barelas can flood... Barelas with really good vision, building outposts everywhere. So definitely trying to take advantage of Berber mobility. If Barelas can build like 6 more barracks, or not barracks, but we got some random camel archers out here. If Barelas can build 6 more stables out here, oh, yep, look at that. Gonna come in from the side and raid the crap out of his opponent. It's really what it's all about. His military is just inferior. Sicilian military options are better, but if Barelas can raid him, he can weaken him so that he can't afford to make the units, as many better units. Canny just having the hardest time keeping siege alive. Do Sicilians get siege ram? Does anybody know? I think they might. That could be a good play. He needs more halves too. He needs like a big mass of 30 or 40 halves to guard his trebuchets. Or siege rams or anything, really. Birelis only now getting heavy plow. That hurts. Canny is out of stone. Canny's been at 107 this whole time. So Birelis has closed this off and has built vision all up here. So is Canny gonna know about those stables? He knows that his opponent's built an outpost out here, but he does not scout the stables. But we have Hussar on the way in. We got camel archers raiding Canny's eco. And I think this castle is finally going to go down. I think this castle was a big liability for Canny, honestly. And now Canny is being heavily raided. Villager count is dropping. These camel archers don't have many upgrades. They're just camel archers. And they only have Bodcanero. They don't have Bracer. But I think this is GG for Canny. Birelis managing to pull it off with the raid here. Manages to hold on. Canny needed to secure more of the map, make stone walls, make outposts, be aware of everything. He does have pikemen starting to come in now. But he's already at 66, 68 villagers, and half of his eco is idle. I think Cavalier was a mistake from Canny. I don't think that it was worth it. Sure, they take half the bonus damage from pikemen, so I could see the logic, but he had a forward here. He didn't need the mobility. He needed slow, powerful units that would rip the Berbers apart. And that's in Halberdier. He needed basically Treb Halb from this point, and to slowly and methodically wall off the sides of the map so he couldn't get raided. So Canny is at 61 villagers now. Pikemen are going to come back and secure this area. Birelis is all over him, though. Barelas has more than twice the economy and about 5 times the military. Another castle crumbling for Canny. Funny Liquid is here. He says, fighting without armor in Hoburg is risky. They do get siege ram. And Canny calls the GG. Birelis is victorious. Well played to Birelis. Birelis with a, in my opinion, a very big civ disadvantage, a very big map disadvantage. Didn't have this backwood back here. But Canny played well, but I think he made some mistakes. He had a forward here, and he didn't take advantage of the fact that this forward would already force the fights, and he went into more mobile units, which I think cost him the game. I think that investment in Cavalier, I think having all these night battles with Barelas didn't really get him anything in the end. It wasn't really worth it. Maybe it kept the knights off of his base. Maybe there was a little bit of logic to it. That may have been his logic to it. But ultimately, Birelis was able to survive the fight barely, and turned around and took map control, built stables everywhere, and just raided Canny to death. But that was a really, really fun set, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next. So the next is going to be Nomad, and I believe Nomad is Canny's home map. So Canny is going to need to win both of the remaining matches in order to stay in this game. This appears to be the largest magnification of Irish Nomad. So both sides landlocked, and some parts of Ireland are even being cut off here. So missing just a little tip over here and the tip over here. So we have some town centers coming down. In this side of the map, we have Canny playing as the Spanish, and over here we have Birelis playing as the Persians. So, classic Nomad civs. On Irish Nomad, you start with plus 50 wood. So everyone has basically got the Persian bonus, essentially, and the Persians have, I guess, plus 100 wood instead of plus 50 wood. So, you can afford a town center, a dock, and a house, and a fishing ship, all at the start of the game. You also start with a transport ship. Now, the transport ship takes population space, but you can use it to explore and scout out enemy docks. So the important thing is that Barelas has built a dock on this side, and Canny has built a dock on this side. So if they wish for water aggression, then they are going to have to build another dock on the opposite side. Given that this is the largest magnification of Irish Nomad, there are many, many, many town center placement locations. Each of the trees in Irish Nomad have 350 wood on them apiece, so this helps them last longer. In terms of idle time, both players are doing very well. So we will probably see FC from both players. In Nomad, I always like to check their vision to see what kind of vision they have. So does Canny know where Birelis is? No, he does not, but he is scouting the map with sheep. Sheep are scouts in Nomad. You don't start with a scout, so you need the information that they can convey. And generally in Nomad, you can fish for food, so you don't need to take your sheep. So let's see if Birelis knows where Canny is. Nope, Birelis does not know where Canny is either. Although he does have a cow scouting in this area, so he might pick up on the fact that Birelis is actually just right over here. Yeah, just barely missed. Actually, wait a second. He could see this chopped bush if he were looking closely. So, 2 fish out for Canny, 2 fish out for Birelis. Canny is building another fishing ship. So what do you do as Persians if you're up against the Spanish? What's the play? I know Persians are known for their great eco, but if you go knights against conquistadors, that could be rough, right? Surely the Spanish will go conquistadors here. Let's see what Barelas knows about. So Barelas, does he have access to stone? He has access to gold, probably. Yeah, he knows about this gold. Does he know about the stone? I don't see where he's found any stone yet. What's interesting though is that Birelis does know where his opponent is. He knows that the town center is here, and he knows that there's a dock here. So Birelis at this point has all the information he needs. Birelis bringing in another boar. Boar are a great source of food on Nomad. They're very fast. And he is at 18 pop and Birelis is at 17 pop. So both players have around 12 seconds of TC idle time, and they're both getting their boars in. So what does Canny know? Does Canny know where Birelis is? No, Canny does not know where Barelas is. So Birelis' scouting information is superior. So that is an advantage for Birelis, I would say. Canny is actually the Spanish. Does Canny know where any stone is, at least? Yes, Canny has scouted the stone here. So Canny will know that he can go out to that stone. I think that's the only stone that he knows about for his castle drop. Have either player discovered their transport ship? No, they have not. The transport ships, to be fair, are quite hard to spot. They have one vision, so you can use them to explore the map. But some people feel that it's just not worth the pop space, and they just delete their transport ship. What do you think? Let me know. Do you think the transport ship adds to this map, or does it not really make a difference, or does it take away? So 5 or 6 fish from both players. Barelas with 5 and Canny with 6. Makes sense because Canny's dock works a little bit faster than Barelas's, since he is Persians. Wait. No, it makes no sense at all. Canny is Spanish. Okay, and Canny is building another villager, but Barelas is going up to the feudal age. Building a mining camp with 4 villagers. And I don't know if Barelas is going to be able to afford to click up once he reaches the feudal age. Eco might not be quite there. Canny is still waiting. Canny's at 30 pop here. And Canny coming out to this stone. This stone is very forward. Canny does not know that Barelas is... Yeah, Canny doesn't know that Barelas is here, so literally this stone is right next to Barelas. Barelas could find this quite easily and stop Canny from taking stone. So that is unfortunate that Canny picked that stone. Barelas' vision... Barelas doesn't know that Canny is on the stone yet, but could probably find out. We'll see. So we'll have to monitor that. If Canny's stone collection is disrupted, he might not be able to drop the castle on Barelas like planned, or at least drop a castle anywhere and go conks. So, alright, Canny needs to take that cow. Barelas is feudal age. Barelas does not have the resources or the buildings to click up. Just gonna make some villagers, I guess. And, oh, Barelas has decided to build a dock over here and harass Canny's fishing economy. That could be quite devastating. It really depends, though. If Canny can get Castle Age with some conks and kill Barelas before this matters, then that's great. But at the very least, this is going to be a nuisance, and I don't think Canny knows about it. Okay, Canny is just finding out about it now. Just finding out that Barelas has built a dock here, and probably has seen these houses, so probably has the information to know that Birelis is over here, but probably doesn't know exactly. Okay, so Canny has reached the feudal age. Canny is throwing down market, blacksmith, and will have the resources to click up. So Barelas is kind of in trouble. Barelas needs to get up to the next stage as soon as possible. Maybe this dock here is kind of a waste of time. I mean, sure, he's got a fire out, he's harassing the fish, but if Canny gets Castle Age and gets like 3 conquistadors out and circles around Barelas' town center, it's over, right? Barelas won't be able to take res. Especially if Canny drops that castle on Barelas, but Barelas not finding Canny Stone is pretty unfortunate. So he probably could deny this, at least he could tower it. Now Barelas could, or Canny could batter the tower down with villagers, but Barelas also has villagers and there could be a big villager fight. Somebody could build a barracks. You could deny this stone if you really wanted to. And we got a mill coming down for Barelas. This is a disaster for Barelas, as Barelas realizes, oh, I need a mill in order to build a market. Classic. Canny stealing some herdables. Ouch. From Barelas as well. This is a disaster for Barelas. Canny still has a decent food income. What's going on? Okay, hiding his fish down here. And I guess it's just on sheep in the center of the map, under his town center. And here come the villagers for the castle drop already. So, oh nope, these are hunters. These are the villagers for the castle drop. Barelas starting to realize what's up. Yeah, villager fighting. Knows now his opponent is Castle Age. Big villager fight and a castle drop here. Can Barelas stop it? Barelas needs to build a tower here immediately, and does. So this tower might actually prolong the game, but these are Spanish villagers, so who knows? Okay, the tower goes up, and, you know, the timing of this tower, everything was done right here. Like, all the right decisions were made by Barelas, given the situation, but Canny is just going to power through and gets the castle up anyway. This is GG for Barelas, unfortunately. When you're up against Spanish, you really got to, like, zone off sections of the map and prevent those conks from killing you. Or you have to get Castle Age first and get multiple town centers across the map so the damage from the conks is mitigated. There's nothing stopping these conks from just walking around and sitting on this wood line and killing Barelas' lumberjacks. And Barelas is on his way up to the Castle Age now, is going to build a barracks, and will probably try to build a stable, but what does Canny know? Canny knows where this gold is. Going to come over here to see if Barelas is taking gold. He's going to find it. And Barelas calls the GG. Yeah, really unfortunate. Barelas not really decided to invest in taking out Canny's fish, which is really good for him. But I don't think that the effort here was worth being the Castle Age later than Barelas. You know you're up against Spanish. You know it's conks. It's going to be conks. And this is a big generation of the map, too. So it's not like Barelas did not have space to zone off a section of the map to prevent those conks from getting in and doing damage. We saw Bengudi as the Bohemians versus Wizanatic as the Spanish on this map, and that's exactly what Bengudi did. He walled off a section of the map for himself, and he was able to prevent the conks from doing early damage, and then went fast imp monk treb ultimately to win. So it's sort of unfortunate to see Barelas lose like this, but Irish Nomad can be very unforgiving given how open it is. So the conks finding the damage. This is why Spanish are so good on Nomad. So now we're going to go to Barelas' home map, which is Glendalough. So in the upper left, we have Barelas playing as the Blue Italians. And in the lower right, we have Canny playing as the purple Huns. This is a huge disadvantage for Canny. Canny is going to have to, again, well, not again, but Canny, the maps are pretty much the same. This map is very consistent, Glendalough. You got your two big wood lines here on either side of the ponds. There is, or this pond, there's an upper pond with 10 fish in it. Each fish has 200 food, so that's 2,000 food in this pond here. And then there are a lot of shorefish down here. Let's see how many. There are 24 shorefish, but they're so exposed it can be very dangerous to come out here to forage for shorefish. So it's interesting. Sometimes the players never dock, sometimes the players do dock. There's not really a defined meta on this map. People have not figured this map out yet. Let's talk about Italians versus Huns, though. This is a very bad civ matchup for Huns. If Genoese crossbowmen get out, Huns can't even get onager. Huns only get mangonels. So what do Huns do against Genoese crossbowmen? Make skirms? Okay, the Italians will just make hussars. What can the Huns do? Make pikes? Okay, the Italians already had Genoese crossbowmen. Genoese crossbowmen are so good against everything the Huns like to make. They absolutely rip cavalry archers apart. They're just an archer that's really good against anything that's on a horse. Okay, Canny deciding to build a lumber camp on the large wood line. This wood line is good, but it can be ranged by a tower. It's very easy for your opponent to just walk over and build a tower over here. Barelas has done the same. Barelas has built a lumber camp on this wood as well. So this map could be good for scouts too. It's a pretty open map. You can play it open. Barelas adding a 4th to wood though. So this is telling me he is not planning on making scouts. And Canny has 4 on wood as well. So neither player planning scouts as far as we can tell. My recommended approach for this map is to wall off the top immediately or as quickly as possible. And then essentially build stone fortifications and things and castle creep and push slowly and methodically through the center and secure these neutral golds. There's not much gold on this map, and that's by design. There's only 4 tiles here for your main gold and 2 tiles for secondary golds assigned to players. So the gold is quite scarce. Birelis scouting Canny's woodline here. Canny has 5 on wood. So this is telling me that Canny is going to send a villager to build a dock pretty soon. Birelis has sent 6 to wood, and Birelis is already on his way over to dock. Does Birelis have loom yet? No, so this is risky. Birelis needs to keep his scout close, which is what he's doing. Both players with about 5... Oh, no, Canny forgot to queue a villager. No, Canny. Queue a villager. Drop off the meat. Okay, Canny building a barracks. Interesting. And Birelis walling in this villager just to be safe. She is unloomed, so doesn't want a scout coming in and picking her off. This dock is going to go up for Birelis. Birelis will be able to build fishing ships from it to help boost his eco. Okay, so looks like Canny did figure out that the town center was idle and has queued up some more villagers. So what is this then? If we've got 5 on wood, what kind of a build is this? I don't see any docks. Looks like Barelas and Canny both fighting. Barelas saying, "Get out of here. This is my pond." And this villager finishes this house. She should move back immediately. Barelas not paying attention to the hill advantage. Okay, another house coming down. And we have a drush. We have a drush from the Hunnic player. Is Barelas going to spot it? Barelas probably keeping an eye on his scout. And yes, sees the militia. So is going to know that there is a drush coming. So how does Barelas respond? Well, Barelas is going to throw down palisades. Make sure those militia can't get in on his nice big juicy wood line over here. Has a villager over here too. The drush did not target this villager, probably because it would be easier for her to quick wall. And I think Barelas is looking at this like, I got a villager down here, I might as well build a wall to the tree line so that my wood line can't get towered. And then you guys watch. This villager's going to finish this wall off. And then she's going to come over here and she's going to wall this side. That's my prediction. So, Canny trying to get in on Birelis. Birelis is on his way up to the feudal age now at 23 pop. Trying to get in. But these militia not getting any value so far. They need to go and find something else to harass. This gold could be a good target. Or these berries might work well. But Barelas keeping an eye on it. Nope. Okay, so this villager is probably going to build a tower on this. No? Where's she going? Where is she going? She's just going to be done? Barelas repairing this palisade. Does not want to let the drush in. So far, this drush is probably not valuable. So, Canny is going to go drush FC, though. Resources are looking pretty good for Canny. Going to queue 2 more villagers and then loom, and then probably click up after that. So, Barelas' feudal age. What is Barelas going to do with that feudal age? I don't see any other buildings coming down. Still working on this palisade. Where'd that lady go down here? Ah, here we go. A forward barracks. So this is a very forward barracks. This is telling me Birelis wants to play this aggressively. This is Barelas' home map, so he probably has a plan. Barracks is up. And are we going to get another building, or are we going to get units out of this barracks? It looks like she's moving forward, probably to build another building, as Canny clicks up to the feudal age. Birelis with 2 on fish, building a 3rd. So has been enjoying some good fish income from this. And Barelas has about 39 seconds of town center idle time, same as Canny. Similar idle times. Where is she going? Gonna build a sneaky stable back here? What is this? Let me know what you guys think. What is this? Okay, so Canny finally giving up on getting into the wood line. It's going to come and harass the gold or the berries, perhaps. Barelas sees it coming, though, and fights, but this is a weak villager. She needs to get out of here. If this villager goes down, that's going to be a little bit sloppy. Oof. Yeah, no reason to fight for these berries. Not when you have all this fish that is free of harassment. You don't even need these berries. Just give them up. Quick wall, quick wall, quick wall, quick wall. Nope, no quick wall. Okay, these villagers might actually be able to fight this. Yeah, and they fight that off. This militia is almost dead. Be careful of this villager, though. Alright, she does kill him off, finally. Pull this back and build a farm with it. Alright, so Canny is now feudal age. Canny is going to be throwing down some buildings, probably. An archery range and a blacksmith. And is going to have the resources to click up after this. Barelas has built a range down here and is getting fletching, so Barelas definitely thinking about making some archers and taking Canny off of gold. So far, Barelas has lost 2 villagers to Canny's drush, though, which is really not good. It was quite preventable, in my opinion. But fortunately for Barelas, Barelas has docked and is building another dock to make these fishing ships more efficient, I suppose. Building another dock. So all of these fishing ships are kind of giving Barelas the villager lead according to capture age, despite losing 2 actual villagers. Ah, so annoying when people do this. Okay, we got archers coming forward. So Canny is on his way to the castle age. He's going to have 3 ranged CA. And what is Barelas up to? Okay, Canny making skirmishers to deal with these archers. Already sending it over to the gold. He knows Barelas should spot these ranges and know, hey, my opponent is probably up to no good. I haven't really seen much from my opponent except a drush, and people could generally afford to go drush past castle. So Barelas should know that his opponent is pretty close to the castle age. Barelas has built another lumber camp out here. I don't think Canny has found it. But if Canny gets out here with CA, this is going to be really rough for Barelas. Yeah, so Canny does not know about that. Reaches the castle age, and Birelis is in trouble. Canny can make cav archers with impunity. Punic cav archers are super cheap. And he is getting Bodkin now. So I don't know what military Barelas made, where it is. Alright, it's harassing the woodline, but that's not going to do much. If Canny really needed to, he could throw down a tower here. I mean, Barelas does have a good food advantage from these fish, but I feel like he hasn't really spent it. And these units are in. Barelas, fight this. I feel like Barelas hasn't seen this here. Is another villager going to go down to this militia and scout? Canny definitely the faster player. Seems like able to react across the map more. We're building triple stables. Barelas has found this villager, and this is looking very GG. These CA are going to get out on this woodline, and there's nothing that Barelas can do about it before Castle Age. Cavalry archers are already here. They're going to snowball that technology advantage, and Barelas taps out. So GG, well played. A very entertaining set from both players. Barelas came in with a very strong win as the Berbers, playing Irish Arabia, embracing the chaotic and open raiding nature of the map, and that game went to quite late. But Canny sees something in the remaining Irish maps from the pack, and defeating Barelas on Nomad with just a better build, and going into Conks' Spanish, which is quite terrifying, as well as getting these CA out quickly enough to really, really damage Barelas' economy. So Barelas tried some things in Feudal, but they just did not work, unfortunately. The timing was a little bit off and was not able to do the damage to justify them. Had the dock here, which was smart, but it just didn't pan out for Barelas. So we'll be sad to see Barelas go. We really are grateful that he signed up for the tournament. We've enjoyed watching all of these sets so far, but we have to congratulate Canny for moving on. Canny is going to be going up against the winner of the Otter one and Yip Yip in the quarterfinals. So we'll be very excited to see those unfold. But for now, I thank all of you for watching. This has been a fantastic set. Thanks to the players for participating. And we're going to close this one out and start another set really soon. So thank you all for being here, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.